All right. Welcome back to Basement Tapes 116. I traditionally take a drink of liquid, usually water, sometimes my pre workout prior to the show as the intro is playing. Then I went to grab my trackpad and realized I had schmutz all over my fingers. Schmutz meaning anything, but in this case, liquid. So my trackpad wasn't working. It is now. We're on the proper window, and we are in 1962. And we're going to talk about some 1962. I really screwed this up. 1962 post serial football. Yes, football cards, folks. Let me get to my organized tab here. And you may be saying to yourself, wait a minute, 62 post football, that's impossible. Well, you need to make yourself understand that there were cards other than baseball cards on the back of Post cereal boxes back in the day, and this is a perfect example. 62 Post cereal, I have 59 of these. It's a 5 and a 9. That's 59, dangerously close to 60. Let's learn a little bit about this from Beckett OPG. It says here, the 1962 Post cereal set of 200 cards is Post only American football issue. The cards were distributed on the back panels of various flavors of Post cereals. As is typical of the Post package back issues, the cards are blank backed and are typically found poorly cut from the cereal box. The cards were, when properly trimmed, measure 2.5 by 3.5. The cards are grouped in order of the team's 1961 finish. Interesting little tidbit there. The players within each team are also grouped in alphabetical order, with the exception of 135 Frank Clark of the Cowboys. Certain cards printed only on unpopular types of cereal are relatively difficult to obtain. 31 such cards are known and are indicated by an SP in the checklist. Some players who had been traded had asterisks after their positions. Jim Nowowski, Sam Baker can be found with either red or black asterisks. The set price below does not include both variations. The cards of Jim Johnson, Bob Lilly, Larry Wilson predate their rookie cards. Also noteworthy is the card of Frank Tarkenton, whose rookie year for cards was 1962. So Beckett does not declare any of these to be rookie cards because they were not issued in pack form and regularly distributed and all that fun stuff. But it does say 202 cards at $26.29 average value. Total value $5,311. Complete set $2,700 to $4,500. So that's pretty steep. Trying to put this set together again. Lots of short printed cereal boxes, I guess, due to lack of demand for some of the brands. And I guess a truncated season or a shorter season too, football. I guess by maybe Thanksgiving, kids have given up on football. Although there wasn't a lot of competition, it's not like they were looking forward to basketball, but maybe with baseball just around the corner, they were starting to save their pennies and nickels. The top 3 valued cards, according to Beckett OPG, can be considered short print of Dave Baker. I'm going to get rid of the the short print of Dave Baker and one of the Sam Baker cards, even though they're both listed with their variations, and Angela Koya, along with Joe Krakowski. So that's hit, man. You expect some bigger names in there, but I guess they just did not exist. I don't think maybe they signed up some of these bigger names, but TCDB will shed some light on that. Teams listed. Let's get back to TCDB again. I apologize. To the front page, it says, of course, 200 cards from the 1962 Post cereal set. Teams listed here are the Baltimore Colts, Chicago Bears, Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Los Angeles Rams, Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, San Francisco 49ers, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Washington Redskins. So all NFL. All the time. We talked about the variations. Ninowski with the red asterisk versus the blue asterisks. Let's bring that up here. I see an asterisk there, but I can't hone in on it. I'll believe them. I'll believe them. I'll leave it at that. And the other one being Sam Baker with the same issue, red asterisk versus black asterisk. Hall of Famers, it says there's 43 of them. I just didn't see them listed in the top bunch there, but I guess that's because of all the short prints. So the short prints are your big uns. But you have your Forrest Gregg, Paul Hornung, Henry Jordan, Jerry Kramer, Jim Ringo, Bart Starr, Jim Taylor, Rosie Brown, Sam Huff, Andy Robustelli, Y.A. Tittle, Bednarik, Jurgensen, Tommy McDonald, Karras, Dick Lane, Yale Larry, Joe Schmidt, Jim Brown, Mike McCormick, Gene Hickerson, Bobby Mitchell, Raymond Brown, Art Donovan, Gino Marchetti, Lenny Moore, Jim Parker, John Unitas, Jim Johnson, Bob St. Clair, Doug Atkins, Mike Ditka, Bill George, Stan Jones, John Henry Johnson, Bobby Lane, Bob Lilly, Sam Echeverry, Larry Wilson, Ollie Matson, Les Richter, Hugh McElhenney, and Fran Tarkenton. So that's 43 of those. There are no rookies listed by TCDB either. Let's look at the comments. Rawman 52, we know what he likes to do in his spare time, says, yes, I also love this set too, and just got Larry Wilson, Mike Ditka, and Don Meredith from eBay. So hope to complete this set soon. Ha. Jay Hurling says, I really love this set because it had more cards per NFL team than any previous set. Most teams were represented by 15 cards, with 13 as the lowest representation. There was also quite a bit of information about players on the front of cards. Some cards were tough to get because they were on boxes of the unpopular types of cereal. It took me 16 years to get a number 10, Angelo Coya. I once bought a box of cereal just to get the cards and ate it all before I got home. Boy, was my mother mad. So a lot of fun stuff there. And Jay Hurling brings up an excellent point. Previous sets had about 132 cards due to the 2 by 66 sheet limitations that they would put on their printing run. But this did have 200 cards, all NFL players. So wonderful tidbit there by Jay Hurling. Shows the struggles of Angelo Coya and the struggles of having a mother. Sometimes it wasn't easy having a mother. They would throw your cards away and they would get mad if you ate a whole box of cereal. Packaging, of course, no surprise there. Nice little free trading cards on Post cereals advertisement. There's an Alphabets box, front and back. These are the smaller boxes, I guess. These are the kind of maybe you take when you go camping. Another one with the cornflakes, the artwork on there, both with the football cards as well as the just the big vibrant corn of the cob with some bananas in there. Just makes me hungry. Post top 3, a mixture of cornflakes, wheat flakes, and crisp rice. I wonder if that was a popular brand. Alphabets again, free football trading cards. Johnny Unitas featured on that advertisement. The treat pack, which is the 6-pack of that we talked about here. 6 packs of 5 1/4 ounces net weight, a kilogram. It says, I guess it had sugar crisp, rice crinkles, and something in there. But you do see the football card in that pseudo cello pack of cereal. So that's a fun little thing. There is an advertisement. It says here, free football trading cards on 12 Post cereals. Paul Hornung, Green Bay Packers, most valuable player of 1961, National Football League. Boys, here's a great card collection. All the top stars from every team in the league. They're free on all Post cereals, 12 different cereals. So pick the one you like the best and start collecting your trading cards now. Paul Hornung is wearing his last name on his front, and he's holding up a card of Sam Huff, which looks like he is at perhaps Yankee Stadium. Maybe we'll get to that in a bit, but start your day a little better with cereals fresh from Post. And that we have bran flakes, cornflakes, sugar crisp, cornflakes again, or toasty cornflakes, raisin bran, grape nuts flakes, oat flakes, and rice crinkles. So those are your options for the cereals. And there is an artist's rendering of what a box would look like. So pretty cool little piece of nostalgia there. Let's get on to some more stuff. Sell sheets and ads. We saw the Paul Hornung one. There's another one that says Fundamentals of Football by Paul Hornung, halfback, Green Bay Packers. book number 2. So I'm not sure where that came from, but we saw the Paul Horning ad sheet previously, as well as the free trading card on Post Cereals. Looks like just something you could slap up in your aisle at your IGA or whatnot. Let's go to the gallery here. And again, there's 200 of these bad boys. First place finishers, the Green Bay Packers led us off in alphabetical order. So you win, you go first, and then you have a name like Dan Carey. You become card number 1 in the 1962 top set. Lots of Hall of Famers in there. Dave Henner looks like, man, he looks like Curly Joe DeVito from the whatchamacallits, Three Stooges. Henry Jordan looks like he does not belong on a football field, but many of these people may have been criminally insane, and that's how they were able to make a living, by being on the football field. Of course, there's the classic and Class E Bart Starr on card number 12. So, like one of our friends pointed out in the comment section, lots of cards per team here. Packers were somewhere in Dairyland, I'm sure, on their practice field getting their pictures taken, while the New York Giants, as we pointed out, at Yankee Stadium, it appears. What a classic bunch of photographs that is, depicting them in various football poses without the helmets. So these guys were not opposed to perhaps taking on opponents without helmets, except for Y.A. Tittle, who is wearing a helmet. So shows you how much I know. Y.A. Tittle, we can see in the background, center field at Yankee Stadium, where baseballs disappeared. Then we have the Philadelphia Eagles came in third place, I guess. And these were taken at Franklin Field again, and it is like previous Fleer issues, unmistakable, with what would be the west end zone, I think, the Gothic building featured behind them, still featured today at Franklin Field. Beautiful cards. The Lions are on their practice fields. Cloudy day. Howard Cassidy. You cannot tell me this guy was a halfback in the NFL in 1962. No way. Alex Karras looking pretty feisty there, and Dick Lane, and all sorts of really fun little football poses. Some of them are retreads, but of course, we don't know that. If you're Harley Sewell in Detroit, you have no idea that somebody else is being asked to do the same pose at Yankee Stadium. Jim Brown is card 61, and boy, what a complete badass, as they say. Let's read from the Jim Brown card here, card 61. Jim Brown, Cleveland Browns against 6'2", 228, born February 17, 1936, college, Syracuse, home, Cleveland, O. After winning unanimous All-American ratings in both football and lacrosse, Jim was drafted number 1 by the Browns in 1957. He led the NFL in rushing in each of his 5 pro years, while also setting an all-time season rushing record with 1,527 yards in 1958, scoring 18 TDs. Brown holds the single-game rushing mark of 237 yards set against Los Angeles in 1957 and against Philadelphia in 1961. He has played in the Pro Bowl every year and was also chosen last year's player of the game. Jim Brown had his Long Island, New York scoring record in basketball broken by Carl Michael Yastrzemski. It's good for everybody to know that the Browns on their practice field are juking and jiving and hucking and hiving. Milt Plum sold a few of those. I've had many duplicates come through my collection over the years, so I've sold a few of those Milt Plum number 70 cards. Sam Baker is kicking a football. I just thought I'd mention that, and he gets to do it twice because he has the variation on his card. The Colts classic uniforms, they're still wearing them, I believe. If not, they should be. They're at their practice field as well. Artie Donovan. What can you say about Artie Donovan that he hasn't already said himself? What else we got? We have the San Francisco 49ers. The weather doesn't look any better out there than it does on the East Coast when these guys are getting their pictures taken, but still some great action poses, as they say, which really you don't see that at all on football cards. You see a lot of live stuff, but these poses on the practice field are just classic stuff. Mike Ditka looks angry, but Mike Ditka always looks angry. Bill George looks like he is in the Make-A-Wish Foundation and got his wish of getting to appear on the back of a baseball or football card. Who will we have here? We have some more Bears. We have some Steelers. The Steelers uniforms looking pretty good here, starting to evolve into what eventually they would have later on. But they still kind of sucked back then. Dallas Cowboys sucked back then as well. I have no idea where they're practicing. Maybe somebody can point that out, but it doesn't look like the Cotton Bowl, that's for sure. And it doesn't look like it's definitely a stadium. So who knows where the Cowboys were? Who cares where the Cowboys are right now? And the St. Louis Cardinals, they're practicing out in the woods, perhaps a team bonding, team building experience. Let's go camping. Bring your uniforms because there's going to be somebody with a camera. So a lot of that happening in St. Louis. Can't imagine how hot it would have been in St. Louis getting your picture taken during training camp. Los Angeles Rams looks gorgeous out there wherever they are. Somewhere along the 110, the 101, the 405, the 10. They could be anywhere out there. Those Cowboys or those Rams, because California was growing and people were California dreaming, and the sky was the limit. The Minnesota Vikings, the lowly Minnesota Vikings, I guess they would have been down there, almost in last place. We'll see who the last place team was. It appears to be your Washington Redskins. I think I see a Griffith Stadium sighting. I will come clean and tell you I'm not as clear on Griffith Stadium as other stadiums of back in the day, but that definitely looks like Griffith Stadium there. So that's all 202, including variations of your 1962 Post cereal offering of the football players, NFL only, largest set to that date of NFLers, and truly a classic look and a classic feel. Of course, it's no different than the postcards from the baseball gang, but it's certainly wonderful poses and very enjoyable gallery to look through if you're going to do that on TCDB. So that's Basement Tapes, episode 116. Enjoy your cereal, kids.